en vacances que nous contents. C'est ça qui fait le vacances rivées, n'oubliez soucis, chagrin, tout problème la vie. On passe sur plage, pique-nique dans tout petit bal, ambiance tout partout, musique à violer.
Welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Report. Today it's Friday, June the 20th, and those of you watching us live, this is our last episode for the season. The station takes a break of roughly 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll be back on live on July the 18th. Unfortunately, because this is a live show, tapings are not done of this show, so during that 4-week period, you will not even see reruns of our show. So please don't think we're off the air. It's just, again, because we're a live show and there's no backup tapings done of this show in the control room, but we will be back on live on July the 18th. One of your hosts up for tonight, Dedrick Henry, and I'm joined here with
Clarke.
And of course, we're excited to be here with you tonight. And we have to go out. Let me back up. We got to go out with a bang on this last show. But before we get into the guests and what we're going to get into, let's backtrack a little bit. Last week, we had Elder Clarke Broxton on with Divine Faith Ministries International, and he spoke about many of their events coming up. One mainly, which was this past Thursday, the 18th, had to do specifically with the Caribbean. And Karen had the honor of not only being there last night, but also participating last night. And I would ask that she just give us a recap on how things went last night.
Divine Faith Ministries International. It was awesome. I went to the South Campus Church, and that it's by Mundy Mill area in Clayton County. What they had was called a Gathering of Nations, and it really was a gathering of nations. All week they had, for instance, Monday they had Asian night. Okay. Tuesday they had Hispanic night. And Wednesday they had African night, and Thursday was Caribbean night. And on the 22nd, it would be Indian night. Okay. And they believe in cultural diversity. They have flags of all nations in front of their sanctuary. And it's very inviting. They began with song, gospel singing. Everybody was colorful and just so vibrant, and Pastor Battle got up and he started talking, and no, wait a minute, he had a little bit of Caribbean flavor music, and it was pumping, and he was dancing, and he was singing, preaching, and it was really, really awesome. It was, let's say, everybody loved it. Everybody enjoyed it. They embraced the Caribbean, the culture. They had speakers from Haiti, Barbados. Also, they had Jewel Scott. She is a district attorney for Clayton County. She showed her support as well. Gave, to me, a motivational speech. A fantastic, awesome lady. And we're going to have to invite her here at Caribbean Report. I mean, what an awesome person. Her, the things that she does for her community. Because as she noted, we hear a lot about DeKalb County being Caribbean, but you don't hear about the other counties having Caribbean leaders, leadership in politics. So we're going to invite her on. And once again, just want to say, please, if you believe in cultural diversity, if you want to worship in a spiritual way, go down and visit the Divine Faith Ministries International, and you'll be more than welcome, because they have people of all nations attending and loving and worshiping. And that's what I have to cover on.
Hey, good. Yeah. Sounds like it was definitely a good time.
Yes, they had food, they had everything.
That was an understatement. Now, 2 things I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show. This is a live show for those of you, of course, watching us live. But given that, you can call in with any comments, suggestions, issues that you have. And if you don't want to be on the air, the calls do not come straight into this studio. So you do have the option of asking, do you want to be, the option of telling us if you want to be on the air or not. But let me just give you that phone number. It's 404-873-1349. Again, that's 404-873-1349. And the website to get more information on this show is at myspace.com/Atlanta Caribbean Report. All one word. And I'm sure you'll see it up on the screen later on. But again, that's myspace.com/ as you see, it's on the screen now. So you can get more information from that website. And as far as contacting us, you can contact us through that website, or you can contact us through the Yahoo account that you see there at the bottom of your screen. And something I want to definitely mention, as we have been for the past roughly 4 weeks, and it has to do with one of our guests that's actually coming tonight. This is June, as I said, today is June the 20th, and of course June is
Caribbean Heritage Month.
And with us broadcasting out of Georgia, we have been focusing on the Georgia, I guess you could say, portion of it. But, for example, on their website, it ties in all the places in the U.S. It ties in all the information countrywide regarding the month. So it's not, for those of you watching us outside of Georgia, you can still get information from where you are. And it is a lot of events. As we mentioned 3 weeks ago when we had some of the community members on, and we're not going to mention them just at this moment because they will be back on tonight, so we will get more into it at that time. But until then, we just want to touch a few minutes on the news, but wrap it up pretty quickly because we have a full lineup of guests, and we know how quick time can go on here. I believe, Karen, you had a couple articles that you want to mention, and I'll follow behind you and mention one.
Yes, what I have to share with you tonight is it's from Caribbean360.com, and the headliner is Poor Customs Contributing to High Food Prices. Okay, yes. Now, this is coming out of Washington, D.C. The World Bank has warned that inefficient and slow customs procedures in parts of Latin America and the Caribbean contribute to the increase of food costs and reduce availability of goods in these countries. It also states that the global food crisis is affecting the region through, they say, transportation, logistic costs increases that is spread through to the countries. So it's really through transportation, and that's why it's not the tariffs, it's not the taxes, but it is a transportation cost that is increasing the food prices. It is acknowledged that the ocean freight charges has more than doubled since 2000, noting that the high volume relatively has low value in goods such as grains and edible oils. Domestic freight and ocean shipping costs can increase the final price of final price for consumers by as much as 30% to 50%. So that's where a lot of the food cost is going to, is because of the freight charges, the gas increases. Also, they're saying once again, who is it affecting? Rising food prices are a growing policy change for both middle class and low income countries in the region. The bank said between March of 2006 and March 2008, the International Food Price Index nearly doubled in normal terms, rising 82%. So that's a whopping 82%, and it is really on a global scale. The next article that I have for you is also from Caribbean360.com, and it has to do with the conference on the Caribbean Opens. And what they're talking about here, this happened in New York. As the second conference on the Caribbean began in New York on Thursday, one Caribbean leader urged the United States to take hold of the investment opportunities in the region that is experiencing significant growth and transformation. Speaking on behalf of the Caribbean community CARICOM, Antigua Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer said the time is also right for the 15-member grouping to engage the investment and trade partners of the United States. The moment is opportune for us as a region to engage in this interface with existing and prospective investments and trade partners. CARICOM is undergoing significant development and transformation. The positive developments in our investment environment will provide an attractive climate and framework for fruitful discussions. Now, if you want more information on this article, please go on www.myspace.com/Atlanta Caribbean Report, and we will have all the various links for our news articles, and just go there. That's your one stop. Go there for it. And with that, Dedrick, would you like to say something?
In a couple of minutes, for those of you who just missed that website, we will have it up on the screen, and immediately following that, we will have our guests come out. But just before we do that, there's one last news article that we want to touch before then, and that has to do with Caribbean, West Indian people being counted on the census. There's a big push for 2010, and I believe you have the article, Karen.
Yes, I sure do.
There's a big push, and so I'm just going to say a light thing on it and let you finish the rest, but there's a big push for 2010 to get an accurate census count, to get an actual census count for 2010. For those of you who do not know, currently there is not a census category for West Indians. So in Atlanta or any other area, all the counts you're hearing are not accurate. There are estimates based on various sources, immigration, citizenship, or things like that. But that's leaving out the rest of the family. You know what I'm saying? It's cutting people out.
Yes, a lot of it has to do with a guesstimate that they do from various internet websites where people do random surveys, and it's not completely accurate. And we've been talking about this so much because we are integrated within the African American community, and we really do need to have a say in the community. And it's very good that you have that article to share with us.
So there's a big push here. If you go again to our website, which you will see on the screen soon, from any other news sources, Caribbean 360, Carib World News, any of those, you will be able to get more information on this. So this is a continual thing, and we'll continue to keep you updated. So again, we're going to let you have a chance to write down our website, to write down our email address, and then after that, we will have our guests here, and we will get into the meat of the show.
With the mudslinging tired of being told who to vote for? At Project Vote Smart's unique research facility high in the Rocky Mountains, hundreds of volunteers have gathered to investigate issue positions, backgrounds, and campaign contributors on over 12,000 candidates fighting for your vote. This year, get the facts, not the rhetoric. Help us change the face of democracy. Don't just vote, vote smart. Call our researchers toll-free at 888-VOTE-SMART or visit us on the web at vote-smart.org.
We're fighting diabetes, one step at a time. Join thousands of walkers across the country to raise money for the American Diabetes Association. Join America's Walk for Diabetes. Get involved. Form a team. Bring the kids. Walking is good for your health and great for the cause. Call or log on today. Together, we can find a cure. One step at a time.
The 2-1.
Hi, I'm Barry Bonds for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. In my league, we hit home runs without a designated hitter. But if you want to get home safe, there should always be a designated driver. So when you're with someone who is drinking, take their keys. Call a cab or drive them home yourself. Because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
welcome back. Let me apologize. I mentioned that the website would be up, but it was even better. We had some PSAs loaded up, which I didn't think were ready yet, but that just shows how quick our control room is, how quick they get everything together. But without further ado, we have with us Princess Beckford and Marva Jacobs. Previously, when was it, 3 weeks ago, roughly, we had Princess and Valerie Sanders on with the Georgia Caribbean American Heritage Month Committee. And again, we have Princess and Marva here representing the same committee. And as we mentioned, for those of you who saw the show, is that we were going to bring them back because that was right at the beginning. Actually, that was a day before the kickoff for the month. But now we have been through quite a few events and we're coming into the climax of the month. So we wanted to definitely get them back on to be able to tell, first of all, how things are going so far and to tell us about the events that are coming up.
Okay. We had a really good kickoff, and I'll let Marva talk a little bit about the opening ceremonies. We had it at City Hall, and she was very instrumental in planning that and organizing it, and there were lots of people there, and so I'll let her talk a little bit about that and the variety show, which I missed because I was out of town.
Okay, our opening at the Galla, the atrium, I was the coordinator for the food, tasting of the Caribbean food, and it was quite an event. We had food from almost every country in the Caribbean you can think about. So it was quite an event. We had some dancers from the Caribbean as well. What else did we have? Steel band, not the steel band, sorry. We had a band from the Caribbean that played lots of Caribbean music. So it was a successful event. Wow,
wow. And I'm going to give Karen a chance, because if you all don't remember, she unfortunately couldn't be here the last time that we had the committee on the show. So I don't want to steal all the questions away, because I know I did it that day. So I'm going to give her a chance to ask anything that she wants to.
Well, I wanted to find out, the audience that came, were they basically more, were they African American? Was it a mixture of different, the general public?
It was a mixture of different cultures.
Really?
Different cultures. We had people from the Caribbean as a whole, but we also had African American, and we did have some Caucasian as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did get the word out.
Of course.
Yes. And that they seemed to enjoy the food. The food was free. Everything was free, and they, you know, they enjoyed all the food. And it was interesting watching them try all the different foods. As Marva said, there were foods from so many islands, some that I hadn't even recognized, but I tried everything, and it was absolutely wonderful. So it was good that they could all come out. And City Hall was nice on Sunday afternoon because the traffic was light and the place was just for us. So it was really, really well done.
Now, yesterday, there was a business opportunity seminar.
I think that was canceled.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, that one was canceled. But the variety show was very good. Again, I was out of town, so I didn't get a chance to go to that. But Marvin can speak to that because I heard it was very well done, and we had a lot of participants.
Okay, what took place?
Unfortunately, I didn't attend that. I had another event, so I wasn't able to go. But someone else is coming who was one of the MCs.
Oh, okay.
She's not here as yet, and she can shed some more light on the variety show.
Okay.
There's so many activities for us, and as we mentioned the last time, it's a small group of us.
Right.
And so for 30 days, there are just lots and lots of activities. So we try to do as many of them as we can.
Possible,
and
right.
Sometimes it's not possible for us to attend everything, but we try to cover the major, definitely the opening and the banquet and some of the things in between.
Now, you say that it's just a few of you. For such a big event like this, 30 days of activities, how many did it take to really pull this off?
How many of us? About 12 or 15?
It takes the same amount of us to circulate and recirculate all the time.
Yeah. Wow. It's a small group, and it's all volunteer. And as I mentioned last time, I love it because we're from all different countries. Marva's from Guyana. And I'm Jamaican. There are people from Montserrat, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and it's wonderful because everyone gets input into all the different activities and events, and so it's not one country, it's highlighting the whole Caribbean. And there's even a lady from the Dominican Republic.
Well, that's fantastic. So you included the English nations as well as the Spanish nation.
Yes.
Because we are made up of both.
Yes.
And that is awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And there are people from Belize, and they have a little different culture. So there's some of everyone.
So how different is the Belizean culture?
Well, you know, when we did the opening ceremonies last year, we had to do a costume display, and they portrayed the Garifuna culture, which is indigenous to that group. And it's a culture of people that have really held on to the African traditions for years and years and years. And so they highlighted that. So they have a little different culture, and so they were, you know, they're a part of us. There's about 2 or 3 people from Belize, and so it's Indian, African, you know, mixture of people, and so they are able to come and share with us that.
Now, not to get off topic, but 2 things I thought about when you said Belize, Guyana. A lot of people look at the Caribbean as just islands, as places completely surrounded by water.
Yeah.
But those are 2 examples of places that are 2 or 3 sides surrounded by water, but the rest, Belize in the case is joining with Latin America and Guyana with South America.
Yes.
And a lot of people do not realize that. They just say the islands and they think of that just being all that's the Caribbean, that it doesn't include other places. So I just want to just throw that out, and I see, Mark, you have a comment behind that.
Well, not so much of a comment, because the accent, everyone thinks that we're from the Caribbean. We're actually from South America.
Right.
Because it's the only English-speaking country in the South American territory.
And we include them because we love them.
Right,
so we include them in
Caribbean.
Caribbean festivities, even though they're really just a country.
In other words, we will call you South American.
Yeah.
Well,
because you know what, we never really said that. We never really associated you with being South American.
Right.
We have you removed as a separate entity altogether. And isn't that something else?
They've always been considered Caribbean.
Right.
But I don't think they are. I met a young lady from Guyana who thought more European because they speak Portuguese or descendants of the Portuguese or something. And
how does that work?
Well, Guyana is a country of many nations, so to speak. We're 6 different races in Guyana.
Wow.
Because we were British Guyana, there's white, there's the Indo-Indian, there's the Aboriginal Indians, there's African Americans, and Portuguese and Chinese in Guyana.
Right.
And so I guess that's where that was coming from.
Okay.
As for me, I'm half Guyanese and half St. Lucian.
Yeah.
So fully Caribbean.
Fully Caribbean.
But just, I know we don't have a map in front of us, but just so people don't think that South America's here in the Caribbean, I mean, so they don't separate them so far apart. Trinidad, which is the furthest southern island, is very close to South America. It's right off the coast of South America.
You can go by Maracas, isn't that so? Maracas Bay. And at nighttime you can see the coastal lights. So what a romantic view.
Wow.
Very romantic view. So you could say yes. So it's very easy commute. I think it's like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
20 minutes by boat, is it?
To Guyana?
You can't go to Guyana by boat from Trinidad.
You go to South America.
No, to Venezuela.
Oh, yes,
to Venezuela.
And Brazil, yes.
And Brazil,
yes.
yeah. You know, so I say yes. Very diversified. A lot of people from Trinidad, I think, go to Venezuela shopping.
Because lots of people are from, their ancestors are from Venezuela.
Yes, mine.
See?
My ancestors came from Venezuela. Yes. Did not know that until one day having a discussion. You know, you don't know much about your background until you start really sit down and you talk to the older people. Because I left so young, and then you start finding out. You know what your heritage is about.
Yeah. So y'all see, this is a history lesson.
Right.
And while we're on that, during during Caribbean Heritage, American Heritage Month, the Georgia Committee, which are you all, of course, had a spotlight on Island Nation.
Right.
And would you like to speak more on that?
Yeah, it's Grenada, and they're made up of 3 islands: Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And so it's a trio island nation, and they're quite unique. And so each year we select a different island to focus on. Based on history or just wanting exposure, we selected Grenada because they had the devastation with the hurricane, and also I think this is their 300th year of celebrating slavery emancipation or something like that.
okay,
And so
okay.
we thought about it, and the committee said, let's select Grenada as the spotlight island for the year.
Okay.
Isn't it
good.
also because Sparrow was also born in Grenada?
And Sparrow
Oh,
came as a
gosh.
result of
You're
us
taking
selecting.
Sparrow from Trinidad.
Yeah, let me see. Last time I came on, I mistakenly said he was from Jamaica. I thought I was gonna get. I thought you guys were gonna get a lot of calls, but thank God.
But you fixed it after the break.
Look, so we borrowed Sparrow, or
Well,
what?
we don't know if you borrowed him.
What is the story with that? Because I'm from Trinidad, but I really don't know the story.
He was born in Grenada and
Right.
went to Trinidad when he was very, very young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And with
So-
Carnival and all that, you guys have kind of just owned him for years, and he's been singing your music and doing road marches, and I mean, he's.
But you know what? As I notice here, there's so many different people from different islands, because even though I'm from Trinidad, I heard from my father's side, there's also Bajan.
Yes.
Okay, so we all are linked up
Right,
somehow in
right.
travels due to
Right.
trying to find work or
Work.
what
Or
have
different,
you.
right.
So we take pit stops.
Yes.
That's
We
true.
take pit stops.
That's true.
And yes, Daddy can make a good cuckoo.
Okay.
Yes, Daddy can make good, and that is one of their native foods, right? Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I hear a rumor next year that the spotlight might be on Montserrat.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
Yes.
But while we're on Sparrow, he was mentioned for a very important reason. Actually, I'll let you tell it. I'm the one steal all the thunder.
We will have a banquet, the end of the celebration banquet on June 28th
Okay.
at Cobb Galleria. And he is our guest. He is going to be honored. And he will be coming in like Thursday. Our banquet is Saturday. We didn't realize that Mayor Shirley Franklin adores him and is a big
Oh, really?
fan. And we were able to set up a meeting and a lunch with her. So he's coming in for that
Okay.
on Thursday. So he will definitely be here. And they're going to have lunch and meet on Thursday. And
Wow.
he'll be here Friday. We may have an event with him Friday. And then the banquet is on Saturday. So we're very excited to have him. And he's definitely going to be here. And we're thrilled. It's going to be at Cobb Galleria. And tickets are selling. So we encourage people to definitely come out and definitely support him. Especially because he doesn't come to this region very often.
Right.
I've lived here 12, 15 years, and I don't remember that he's ever
Yes, he
been
came
here.
Yes.
Was,
I had
was
the
he here
pleasure of
once
meeting
before?
him.
Okay.
Yes, he came here about four years ago.
Okay.
About 4
Okay.
years ago.
Okay.
But few and far
Very,
between.
very,
Yeah,
very
definitely.
special person.
Okay.
Very personal, very sweet,
Yeah.
very nice
Yeah.
person. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny, we've been working on the plans and, trying to get everything organized for him, and we're trying to put some things together. And I had a dream that he came to town and we weren't ready, and he had like a horse, and he was very demanding and get this and princess do this, and I thought, oh my God, we're not going to be ready. And I'm like, I hope this man is not like that. I don't think he's like that. But that's just how excited we
Right,
are
right.
that he's coming,
that's
and
what that shows.
we're preparing for it, and
Right.
everything's going to be together and organized. And so we're on tiptoe anticipation that he will definitely put on a great show. We encourage everyone to come to the Cobb Galleria and just, see the performance. And we're going to have a lot of other guests there. The ambassador, Marva has the program. There's a couple of ambassadors that are going to be on hand. So it's a pretty large program. So.
Right, and is People TV invited to come?
But
to
of
Of course, without a
Definitely.
doubt.
Are we going to be doing
Dedrick
some
is
filming?
already registered
Sure.
for our media table.
Oh,
So I would
really?
hope that he's going to bring you.
Oh, Dedrick, are you
Put me
bringing
on the
me?
spot. I better say yes.
Are you bringing
I
me?
better say yes.
Okay.
Of course,
Okay.
definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Yes.
I like how you did that.
Very diplomatically, but getting in there somehow.
Okay.
One thing I did want to mention, and this goes back to the last time you all were on, you mentioned this is at the Cobb Galleria.
Yes.
And we spoke about how this time so many different jurisdictions is getting involved in this, and especially Cobb County. That's one of the last ones that normally
Exactly.
jumps aboard on this. So
Exactly.
that just shows how big this event is becoming, or
Yeah.
this celebration is becoming when you have Cobb County on it. So you really don't want to miss this.
Definitely. And as I mentioned last time, the Cobb Libraries had a
That's right.
film day for children, a Caribbean film day, and it went very well. And so they are getting involved. The libraries, the Auburn Avenue Research Library has always been a partner with us.
Good.
But to get the Cobb Library involved this year was really special. And then to have this event there, it's really nice because it's a great venue, and we rarely do things outside of DeKalb and Fulton County. So this is really wonderful because there are quite a few Caribbeans in Kennesaw and Acworth. And so, you know, I think we do them a disservice when we put everything in Decatur all the time because they have to drive 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
and so sometimes, sometimes it's good to mix it up. It's good to mix it up a little bit. So we definitely hope that people will still support it, and that, you know, all the Caribbean people in Decatur, DeKalb County will come to Cobb because it's a great venue and it'll be a good opportunity.
Now, I know we're giving you all a lot of event information, and you can't keep up with all of it, but just go to our website. On the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's a link that says Georgia Caribbean America Heritage Month. Just click on that link, and it will take you to their website, and it will give you all the information on all these events, plus other information that we don't have time to cover tonight. Now, another thing that I wanted to get on that we spoke about last time is the mentoring program.
Oh, wow, yes.
And I know we didn't have enough time to really, I mean, we covered it a lot, but to do it justice, we didn't have enough time to cover it as we wanted to. Would you like to, for the viewers that missed it, and as a recap, would you like to expand on that more?
Yeah, certainly. We started a mentor program, and it's really one of our members came up with the idea, and he said, well, you know, there's not a lot going on with the youth. Our program is really a lot of adults, and we need to engage them. So he came up with the idea of a mentor program. And as the summer was coming on, I thought, well, our program is all summer, so why don't we try to find them a job or do something where they can get some experience? And so we came with an internship program, and we advertised it, and a lot of Caribbean businesses came forward and said, yes, I would love to have them here. And so we started advertising to schools, and they put the word out, and we had a successful launch last weekend? Last Friday, a Juno Art Gallery, which is a fabulous gallery on Ponce. And it was a great launch. We had some of DeKalb CEO, not CEO, but some of DeKalb, the DeKalb Commissioner, I think, was there. A couple other DeKalb County representatives were there. DeKalb TV was there, and it was a very, very successful launch. And we are able to we even placed a student at the gallery who goes to, I think she goes to Stevenson High, and she has a interest in art history or fashion. And so the gallery said, yeah, we would love for her to come and work with us in the summer. And so the program, they start working June 1st, and they will work for, I think, 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the student and the business. And so we are able to really connect that, and we're very, very excited about that.
Good. That's, to me, I mean, I take it back. I was going to say that's the most important thing, but all of these are important. But that is a huge accomplishment, definitely.
It's one of our passions because I think there's so many people. Marva is in education. I'm in education. There's a lot of us who have a passion for education and reaching out to the youth, and we're trying to really involve them in everything we do. And you have to bring it to their level. They're not going to sit in these meetings, and they're not going to really come to a ball. They may not even know who Sparrow is. You know, they may know that Barack song that but they don't really, they may not know him. So we've got to do things that will reach them. And so we thought about the mentorship and the internship program, and it's really done a great job. And so we have one student, Kyle Williams, who's looking for an intern at a music company. He wants to do music production. So we're still looking for companies in that field. If anyone is listening or watching the program and have a business in music production, sound engineer, anything like that, definitely go to your website and get a hold of us, because we do want to find him something in an area of interest. We have other businesses, but we don't want to put him in a law firm or an accounting firm, because he really wants to do music. And so we don't have yet a business that wants to partner with us to do that, but we're hoping to find one for him by July 1st.
Okay. Now, just going back to, and I know actually if you go to the website, you'll see this, so I'm not even going to try to have it zoomed in on this or anything, but another thing that I want to get into is the arts and the films. You mentioned at the library in Cobb that they had a film festival there, or film showings there. What kind of films were being shown?
Oh, wow. They showed Bob Marley and the Wailers. I think they showed Oh, you're testing my knowledge now. They showed, there were 3 on Wednesdays, 3 consecutive Wednesdays.
Okay.
And it was wonderful that we were able to partner with them because, like I said, it's good to get as many venues involved as possible.
Right,
and
right.
so, and I did hear from Valerie on the one last Wednesday, and she said it was well attended and it was well done. And so I know they've had at least 3 different focus, different island focus, but all Caribbean film, and they have an art exhibit down there. And so they are definitely partner with us. And then we have an art and culture symposium coming up, and Marvin can talk a little bit about that with Savannah College of Art and Design.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely like to get into that.
I
Yes.
know nothing about it. The only thing I know about that is coming up on Sunday is the airport. The Hartsfield, Jackson.
Okay.
They'll be drumming and steel pan.
Oh, at the
music
airport?
At the airport
Yeah.
from 3 to 5 on
Really?
this coming
where
Sunday
exactly at the airport?
in the atrium.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
3 to 5 this Sunday. Okay,
Yes.
okay. I didn't even know about that one.
Yes.
When I say we have a lot going on,
Yeah.
30 days of Caribbean history and,
right.
To
and,
pack
and
everything in and at a specific time as well.
Right, right. And I'm sure that's a major challenge. Like I said, it's only 12 of y'all
Yeah.
trying to. Wow.
As I said before, it's a recycle of the 12 of us.
Right,
We
right.
wear different hats at different times.
Right, and I was going to say, we actually spoke on that on the last show. First, I asked, what is your official positions? Then I said, well, I'm sure, really, you all doing everybody else's position. So it's really not an official title to carry through on it. But I definitely have to commend you on everything that you have done with this. I mean, it's definitely well planned, and it really pushes the agenda. I'm not sure how any other states are doing it, but I do know that Georgia is doing very well.
Other states,
I think New York, DC.
Right.
Because DC, I think next Wednesday, we
they're
have an
having
invitation to the White House.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's another thing. The DC group started it, and they partner with the White House. Just a lot of the people in that area, and they have, I remember last year some of us went to the White House 2 years before when President Bush did the proclamation. Some of them were on hand with the Congress people who kind of generated the bill. And so the DC group is very, very involved, in the White House and our government is really involved in that. And so and they've charged us, and they work with us in planning some of the events, or at least identifying what works and what has worked in DC and what will work for us. And the different states, I know California, Illinois, Florida, a lot of states that have a large Caribbean population, they do events. I don't know if it's on the scale of ours, because we really do have a lot going on in a short period of time, but a lot of states do have celebrations for the month of June.
Well, good. And as I mentioned earlier, I think before you all arrived, on your website, it actually has more. I told them it has more information than just the Georgia group. They can get information from all the other ones across the U.S. and all that's going on. So please visit that website. And again, you can get to it from our website at myspace.com/Atlanta Caribbean Report. Okay. And again, I just want to mention that banquet time, Saturday. As you see the websites on the screen, and you will see on there that the banquet is June the 28th at 7:30 p.m. at Cobb Galleria, which is a very nice venue. So that just shows the quality of this event. I mean, not to put any venue down, but they didn't say it's in a community center auditorium. I mean, this is at Cobb Galleria.
Right, exactly. So, parking will be nice and safe, and, it'll be,
À la télé, ils disent que vous êtes généreux. C'est pas grave. Encore un rap sur les sans-abri. Que vais-je dire de plus qui n'a pas été dit? Donc je dédie ces rimes aux opprimés, aux déprimés, aux incompris. À chaque famille brisée sans le savoir, les sans-abri sont bien plus proches que l'on croit, quoi beaucoup s'étonnent. Je déconne, tous les mêmes souffrances, soupirer en silence de leur indifférence qui leur reste comme un poids.
Leur point commun reste leur indifférence, ainsi la misère des autres les laisse indifférents. Je les ai vus ricaner, nés des sans-abri, ceux croyant à l'abri, ceux dont Dieu les abrite, aucune compassion, pas une pièce, même pas un sourire, pas même un soupçon de gentillesse pour ne pas secourir aux déshérités, aux miséreux. Les excuses sont nombreuses pour ceux qui sont désireux de garder pour eux-mêmes ce qu'ils croient avoir acquis. Appartenait à d'autres, appartiendra à d'autres. Ainsi va la vie. Tu verras sur leur trait cet air supérieur, l'échec extérieur qui cache pauvreté intérieure. Lâche coupable mais libre, pire se croyant meilleur. Ex-magouilleur en costard, futur balayeur. Ces gens sont tellement accrochés à leur argent. Ils ont toujours l'impression d'être au bout du rouleau.
En fait, ils se trompent de but et cachent une flûte sur leurs apparences. En joue quand il fait beau, se font entendre les jours de chance. Et vivent de faux semblants et en font toute leur vie. Poussent les trous de conscience de gestes d'artifice. Espèce de liste ou ce qu'ils ne font pas tout bas. Verser sous à Téléthon et se foutent de ce qui se passe en bas de chez eux. Mais quand les blèmes les concernent, ils savent tout se taire. Tout le monde peut avoir une fille toxicomane ou un fils qui fait des bénéfices avec des bisils ici. En attendant que ça nous arrive, on se félicite. Et le fils a des bonnes notes, on le plébiscite. Sache que le bonheur des uns fait le malheur des autres. Même si tu fais semblant qu'un rêvera que tu te vaux. C'est pour ça qu'on est tous tristes. L'égoïsme se transmet de père en fils. Mettre un gosse au monde, de l'héroïsme.
Tes gosses, il faut que t'enseignes la charité avant que ce monde féroce ne les imprègne de vanité, avant que ce monde atroce ne leur apprenne que marcher sur les siens de bonne guerre, ingrédient nécessaire à leur réussite. Triste société d'égoïstes, matrice mes cœurs, car au contraire d'être j'ai du cœur de l'amour, chaque cœur qui bat, issu du bas, je vise le haut, pour ça je me bats, mon combat a ses limites, car je veux être des gens bien, avoir des principes comme Kima, que Sti ou Zinzin, mais trop boulot, dodo, appétit, ça une vie stable, ce style de vie qui leur donne cette air détestable, froid, jusqu'à l'effroi, l'hiver en été, mais en été, ces gens ils courent alors que l'État ne fait que reculer leur retraite, ils ont placé père et mère sans pitié en maison de retraite. La. Je garde les traces de mon passé.
Je t'assure, je garde les traces de mon passé, ces choses qu'on ne pourra plus jamais effacer. Je t'assure, je garde les traces de mon passé, ces choses qu'on ne pourra plus jamais effacer. Je t'assure, je garde les traces de mon passé, ces choses qu'on ne pourra plus jamais effacer. Je t'assure, je garde les traces de mon passé, ces choses qu'on ne pourra plus jamais effacer.
That's why you was watching the website for a little while there, but we're still quick in comparison to the time that you watched it again. We left the set and now are at an art gallery. And we have with us, the reason we came here, because we came to visit our friend, Rukumba Ned, who is an artist from Trinidad and Tobago, and it actually I believe used to be the leader or the head of the Band Leaders Association.
AGBA.
Okay, yeah, and definitely, first we'd like to say welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I'm going to try to get through this interview. I'm just looking around and I'm admiring these pieces that it's taken away from my attention. So before it does that, let me go ahead and pass it on to the camera.
Well, Rukumba, thank you for coming on such short notice.
Yes, great to be here.
Yes, he was at the gathering yesterday at Divine Faith Ministries International. And was showing his beautiful artwork from photographs to paintings. Yes, a very, very, very talented man here. So Rukumba Ned, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, it's good to be back here at People's TV. This is my third time visiting with you all. I think initially I showed some paintings of works that I had completed maybe about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And then I returned as coordinator of the carnival in 2005.
Okay.
That's when I was president of AGBA.
Okay.
And I'm back again in the arts arena, the visual arts arena. In between, I was reminded today by a fellow colleague that I'm a member of teacher at Columbia Middle School.
Oh, okay.
And our school did visit with you all sometime in the past. So it's good to be back.
Okay.
It's good to be back.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you. So please tell us a bit about your history. You have such beautiful pieces here. I mean, I love this piece that's over by Dedrick. What a beautiful little girl at Carnival, is it?
Right, great.
Yes.
I'm very versatile as an artist and have spent a lot of time in the cultural arena. I not only paint as an artist, but I've been very involved in community development and looking at the Caribbean festival arts as an art form.
Okay.
One of my pet peeves is that the Caribbean festival art is not seen as an art form and not given recognition as an art form. And part of the Caribbean festival arts is Carnival, which is an art form in itself. I just recently took an exhibition down from Georgia State University called Carnival Art Forms. There I had about 40 pieces depicting expressions of Carnival, which this child depicts clearly that the Caribbean festival arts and that art form is a vehicle by which we express ourselves as a people, by which we communicate and share our beliefs, our joys, our happiness, and some of the challenges we face as a Caribbean people.
Wow. And I see you do paintings as well as photography.
Right.
Is there one that you favor one over the other?
Well, as a teacher, I tell my students that whether it's photography or painting, drawing, whether it's ceramics, these are just ways of expressing oneself.
Okay.
The whole part of art, the whole really important part of art is inward. It's soulful. It's what's in you. And you use these mediums to help you bring out or express yourselves. So art is a form of expression. I use several different mediums.
Okay.
And currently I'm using the computer as a medium.
Oh, really?
So I've tied traditional painting and drawing, sketching, along with computer technology, and now I'm producing my work via the computer. And again, as I say to my students, I could do a painting and never use a brush or use paints. Because in today's arena, with the introduction of the G-clay process, we can now print on canvas.
Oh.
And it has come so far now that within the next few years we'll be printing textured images on canvas.
Okay. You know what? When I did go to Office Depot, they have canvases, 8 by 10 canvases.
Right.
They are selling it.
Right.
So you can print up a reproduction right on canvas.
Right.
Wow.
They're doing
Technology.
that. Technology.
We are at a point comparable with when the camera was introduced, where the whole art world changed.
Okay.
And prior to the introduction of photography, the major genre in art was the painting of portraits. Many of the portrait artists had to change, and it fueled in Impressionism, where people moved away from reality, and they looked at impressions. Okay? In today's arena, we have the introduction now of technology, and whereas it is an artist could capture on canvas and using paints images of his material culture, now the computer is doing it.
Right.
So artists are undergoing different changes in terms of even with the marketing and the selling of artwork. Prior to that, you know, a $50,000 or $60,000 painting or $100 million painting, now you could render that on a computer.
Wow.
I mean, overnight. So
the comfort of your home.
Oh yeah.
But, okay, and because of it is evolving, and it's becoming more technical. What about that talent? I mean, yes, it comes from within. But what about the basic sketching and the basic, you know, using your hands in layman's terms? Is that going to change? Is people just going to do that on computers because now they have the pens that you could actually do strokes on, you know, on a computer, and it could also simulate regular paper? Is that going to really change the traditional way how people sketch and draw and painted?
is the computer going to really take over the, I want to call it the original way?
Not necessarily. The computer is just another medium.
Right.
Okay.
In another time. And nothing can be done or produced without the spiritual.
Right.
We have to go back home to Africa. It is the spiritual in us that makes us do whatever we do. The spiritual, in terms of creation, is all created based on the spirit. So the computer is just a medium. And of course, you can't, if you leave the computer by itself, it can do nothing.
True.
We have to invoke or guide the computer to do the things that we needed to do. Right. One of the beautiful things about the computer, however, is something that I faced when I was at Georgia State doing my master's in printmaking. My professors would encourage us to do the traditional approach, which is to make 3 sketches of the same image. Well, on the computer, it may take me 2 or 3 hours to do 3 or 4 sketches. On the computer, in 1 minute, I could do 1,000 sketches. So now, what are you going to do? Are you going to say no to it? And then not only can I do 1,000 sketches, I could vary them in so many different forms and ways that, I mean, it's extraordinary in terms of what the computer can do. And I think if we look at it from that point of view, of it being a medium, just like drawing, painting, ceramics, or what have you, is a medium, then I think, you know, that will be helpful.
And I want to say, just to chime in a little bit, just a personal preference, even with the computer aiding a lot of things, there's just something about that naturalness of, you know, doing the original way. And one of the things that I go back to, I look at it like in the 80s, where they came with the digital drums. You saw every band doing the digital drums, but you see how quick that went out back to the original. Same thing with the keyboard. A lot of bands use it, but it can never replace the original sound of a piano. Just my 2 cents.
Yes. Good. So which one is your favorite piece here?
Which one is my favorite piece?
Yes, I'm asking him. I'm asking him because I see his eyes wandering all over, you know?
Unfortunately, I can only judge about 3 of them now because I'm at a bad angle. There's a couple of them I cannot see good, but out of the, wow, that's hard. I would have to put all 3 of them. This would definitely be a favorite, but I like the mix. I like the mix of painting and the photography. So it's hard for me to say which ones I like between the paintings and the photography. I mean, honestly, I'm a very big art lover. I don't have my mansion yet, but when I get it, I mean, I can just see rooms covered with paintings like this. And I guess I have to review the tape or afterwards to see the other paintings that unfortunately it's at a bad angle to me. But let me ask you this question. Where can people see your work?
Okay, currently I'm in a transition. I mentioned earlier that I'm very versatile in terms of expressions in art and the things that I do in art. I spend a lot of time in the community doing community work as leader of the bands, working with Carnival or what have you. And have not really spent a lot of time on my creative side. And I think I need to go back and return to the roots. So I'm currently now doing my work. Yes. I'm discovering a whole lot about myself in that as I started exhibiting, there's a whole number of pieces that I didn't even know that I had accomplished and that I had sitting at home. Currently, my wife and I, we bought a home and we have designed the home into an art gallery. We have a full basement that we are looking at probably doing teaching to young people. It's not out in the open, it's just a gallery at this point, and we're hoping to convert it later on. So people can see my work on view through, you know, if they call and make an appointment. I have probably about 4 rooms, and they're all filled with artwork. So I'm rediscovering things that have left latent for a while that I'm working on. I don't want to rush it. My wife retired, And congratulations. And I'm a couple of years from retirement, so I'm trying to make that transition and make it a slow transition. One of the things that I do know for a fact is, and I'm so glad that Karen invited me out, is that I have to communicate to the public and let them know that apart from community work, that Rukumba is an artist, that Rukumba has artistic skills, and he has another medium through which he would like to speak. And this is what I'm about now. And this is why I was at the event yesterday, to let people know that I do paint, that I am into technology, that I'm into art, and that I have things that I'm willing to share with the wider community and the wider public.
Well, good, and we're definitely going to keep you, audience, up to date on yourself. And if you want us to, we can put your information on the website for the show,
yes,
so people can further questions can give you a call on it. Now, I know we're in the last 2 minutes of the show. Is there anything that you wanted to say that you haven't been able to, or anything you want to reiterate?
Yes, basically the art is so much a part of us. I would like to conclude by saying, I think you mentioned earlier not having a mansion. And one of the mistakes I made is my wife and I visited Ghana on our honeymoon. And we took Western ways to Africa to try to evaluate Africa. You don't have to have a mansion to have art. Art in Africa is a way of life.
Good point.
And carnival, Caribbean carnival arts is a way of life. We try to package it into a cubicle of some kind. So art is us, we are art, and let's enjoy it as such.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point.
Thank you.
Karen, I think we have a minute remaining. Was there something else you wanted to ask?
Yes. Do you have a website that we can...
I'm currently, it's under construction. I have the home page and so on, so I'll let you all know as soon as it's up.
All right.
Okay, well now we're running out of time. I see we're in the last minute, so I just want to remind everybody this is the last show for the season. You will not see us on the air live nor repeats for the next 4 weeks. We're not off the air. We will be back on Friday, July the 18th, and I'm going to leave the closing comments to Karen.
Well, thank you for joining us at Caribbean Report, and please come back in 4 weeks. We will be back, correct?
Waiting for you. And again, thank our guests.
Great being here. Great being here.
Yeah, and you will have to be back next season.
Thank you.
Definitely. Again, we'll be back starting Friday, July the 18th. Thank you for watching.
Présenter une fiche d'immigration à l'arrivée en France. Dans le cas contraire, nous serons forcés de vous rapatrier à la destination de départ.
La rage qui m'habite brisera vos murs. Que l'État suce ma bite, j'ai endossé l'africaine armure. Avec ta frange, je n'ai aucun lien de parenté, je suis pas tes fils. J'ai vécu dans la promiscuité avec les fils du vice. Vision chaotique d'une situation diabolique. L'histoire a fait de moi Jerry James le mélancolique. De l'esclave le fils, annonce la couleur d'office. Nique ta police, ta justice c'est 3 fois 6 système. Je ramène de ma rue ces pensées extrêmes. Faudrait que tu te renseignes. On rêve de saigner la droite extrême. Seul le tout puissant, bienveillant et omniscient dispose de mes et de mon sang. En plus de son sang, je pourrais même y laisser ma vie. Avenir obscurci, l'État m'a mis un préavis. Mais je suis hostile à toute forme de compromission. Sans prétention, comme dans le passé, je suis sur une mission. Chacun sa vision, voilà mon avis. Mais notre vision n'est peut-être que le reflet de ce que l'on vit ici.